We are back and better than ever. Alright guys, so we have 11 games plus a couple of interesting things that went down yesterday in the world of basketball. So without further ado, let the day 133 recap begin. Where do you guys see yourself 1 minute from now? I know that seems like a ridiculous question, but believe me, it is completely valid. A lot can happen in 1 minute. For example, let's say you were to ask, I don't know, Andrew Bogut, as he enters the game for the first time wearing a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey, where he sees himself in 1 minute. He probably would have said, helping my teammates win a game on the court. And he would be half correct. He would be on the court, except not helping his teammates would be helping him get off the court.
Boy, down in a heap. And Andrew's just been injury plagued throughout his career since that horrific fall with Milwaukee about 6 years ago. Trying to shake this one off.
Yes, and only 1 minute of actual game time for the Cleveland Cavaliers, actually 58 seconds of play for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Andrew Bogut fractures his tibia and is out indefinitely. Here's what LeBron James had to say on the Bogut injury after the game.
It's very deflating, you know, and it's a tough moment. You know, we all were excited, you know, about the acquisition and bringing him here, and you know, him getting some games under his belt, you know, before the playoffs. So, you know, hopefully we can hope for the best, you know, when he gets the MRI or whatever the case may be. But it's a tough one, not only obviously for him first of all, you know, and then for our ball club. Yeah, I heard it. I heard it.
You heard the injury?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you heard?
I heard it break.
Now, besides the fact that LeBron James has superpower hearing, there is an injury bug going around right now. There seems to be a new injury to a significant player that is at least once a week. And you know, it does suck. I'm wishing Andrew Bogut nothing but the best in his recovery, and also praying that no other players catch this injury bug, because it is out there. Kawhi Leonard, in case you did not know, has been absolutely killing it for the San Antonio Spurs. Over the past 10 games, he's averaging over 30 points while shooting basically 50% from the field, to go along with 6.5 rebounds, just under 4 assists, and over 2 steals per game. And his name is getting mentioned a lot in the MVP conversation as of late. And after his amazing performance against the Rockets and their MVP candidate in James Harden last night, the league must have had their suspicions about Kawhi Leonard, as they administered him a random drug test immediately after the game. Now, players are subject to these drug tests at any time throughout the NBA season, so, you know, it's nothing out of the ordinary for the league to walk up to a player like, yo, take this cup. But it is a bit suspicious considering how well Kawhi has been playing as of late, especially that they're just gonna walk up to him, especially when his name's getting tossed around a bunch in the MVP conversation, and be like, yo, pee in this cup real quick. We do not believe that you can do what you are doing on a consistent basis. No human is capable of doing what you are doing on a consistent basis, but I'd be willing to bet everything I have that Kawhi Leonard is just as good, because he puts in that work. But like they say, it is the quiet ones that you have to watch out for. You know, there is a time and a place for everything, and I'm not quite sure if arguing over who messed up on the last offensive possession while you're supposed to be playing defense against the best offensive team in the NBA is the right place to do that. Well, apparently to Dennis Schroeder and Dwight Howard, however, there is no better time to argue over who messed up on the last offensive possession. Take a look at what they did last night.
In the first 2.5 minutes.
Well, he knew who the best shooter was on press row, so that was good. Curry for 3, and Steph gives the Warriors.
See, I just don't understand how you forget that you're supposed to be playing defense, and I also don't understand why none of the other 3 Hawks players on the court reminded them that they're supposed to be playing defense. Now, the object of the game of basketball, boiled down in a nutshell, is to score more points than your opponent. And normally you want to do that by putting the ball into the basket, right? Well, sometimes teams struggle doing that, so they have to turn to other tactics to try and make sure their opponents at least don't outscore them, because that's another way you can win. And that's the tactic Jimmy Butler took last night, as he encouraged Pistons forward Marcus Morris to continue missing free throws after he missed the first. Check it out.
Come on now, he's doing something that is this history. and that cannot be overlooked, what he's doing.
Well, not only that, as you so rightfully pointed out, he's carried that.
Kind of reminds me of how Stephen Curry made that one assistant coach for the opposite team give him dap after he hit a 3 in front of their bench. And that's gonna wrap up all the news and extras from last night. Now let's jump straight into the games. The Detroit Pistons took on the Chicago Bulls last night for the battle for the 7th seed. If the Pistons win, they move up to 7. If the Pistons lose, both the Bucks and the Heat are that much closer to taking their playoff spot. Well, the Pistons won 109-95 over the Chicago Bulls thanks to Reggie Jackson going out there and playing like he actually cared. He exploded in the second half, and I believe he scored 24 points and finished with 26 points on 11 of 16 shooting from the field. Even Aaron Baines played well for Detroit with 12 points and 7 rebounds off the bench. Dwayne Wade sat out with an injury for Chicago, and Jimmy Butler scored 27 points. A couple of days ago, when the Miami Heat blew out the Cleveland Cavaliers, people automatically assumed that it was because both LeBron James and Kyrie Irving sat out due to rest. And I guess the Heat wanted to prove otherwise, so both Kyrie Irving and LeBron James laced up for Cleveland, and the Heat still got the 106-98 win. Dion Waiters was big in the Heat's win over the Warriors a while back, and he was big again last night as well, as he scored 29 points and dished out 5 assists. Goran Dragic also had 21, and Wayne Ellington had 18 off the bench. LeBron James did do numbers on the glass though. He had 17 rebounds to go along with his 30 points, and Kyrie Irving scored 32 for Cleveland. The Warriors found themselves down once again at the half, except this time it was by far more than just 1 point, as they trailed the Hawks 66-51 at the break. And the Warriors still came back and got the 119-111 win, led by Andre Iguodala in his 24 points off the bench. Stephen Curry also had 24 points, including 6 of 15 shooting from 3. I mean, after all, the only way to get yourself out of a shooting slump is to just keep shooting. He also had 9 assists. Dennis Schroeder scored 23 points for Atlanta, and Dwight Howard grabbed 19 rebounds. Kawhi Leonard continues to be clutch. This man has straight up been balling out of control as he hit the go-ahead 3 with 25 seconds remaining, and then turned around and blocked James Harden to give the Spurs the 112-110 win over the Houston Rockets. It's always a great game when these two teams play each other. Kawhi Leonard dropped a smooth 39 points on an efficient 12 of 18 shooting from the field and hit all 11 of his free throw attempts. He also had 6 rebounds and 5 assists. James Harden is a pretty good player himself, in case you didn't know though. He also scored 39 points on 12 of 20 shooting and had 12 assists. No Carmelo Anthony for the Knicks last night, but I guess that's okay because they get the win. 113-105 is the final score, as the Knicks outscored the Magic 28-13 in the fourth. Courtney Lee led New York in scoring with 20 points, followed by Lance Thomas and his 17 points. And this is what some good ball movement will do for you Knicks. Get you some dubs. They had 26 assists on the night. Elfrid Payton had a triple-double for Orlando though, 16 points, 10 assists, and 11 rebounds. Avery Bradley returns for Boston, however Al Horford will sit out once again, and the Clippers get the much needed win as they continue to fight to have home court advantage in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. 116-102 is the final score. The fourth quarter, which is normally dominated by Isaiah Thomas, belonged to LA last night as they dropped 41 in the period. Chris Paul scored 23 for LA, and Blake Griffin with 26 points and 8 rebounds. Isaiah Thomas dropped 32 for Boston. I'll say this for New Orleans, they do have promise. They're losing a lot, but it's never by much. 88-83 is your final score as the Pelicans fall to the Jazz, and the Pelicans' hopes of making the playoffs get slimmer and slimmer. Gordon Hayward scored 23 points for Utah, and Rudy Gobert had 15 points and 15 rebounds. Anthony Davis scored 20 for the Pelicans, and DeMarcus Cousins has 15. Nikola Jokic, aka the Serbian, wouldn't join the Nuggets on the court for this one due to illness, but that's okay because his teammate Wilson Chandler decided that he's going to step up and try to fill the void. Wilson Chandler erupted for 32 points and also grabbed 12 rebounds. You know, someone seems like they're trying to get paid this offseason, and that led the Nuggets to the 108-96 win over Sacramento. Darren Collison had 17 points and 5 assists for the Kings. Just like on Sunday night, Paul George hit another 6 threes last night, but unlike Sunday night, the Pacers did not walk away from this one with a victory. The Charlotte Hornets get the 100-88 win as the Pacers just came out flat to start the second half. 28 points and 7 assists for the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Kemba Walker, and Nick Batum also contributed 21. Paul George scored 36 for Indy. Milwaukee still fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive, and they fought well for those hopes last night as they get the 112-98 win over the Philadelphia 76ers. Giannis Antetokounmpo, of course, led the way for the Bucks with 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists and 3 blocks, and Tony Snell, aka the shadow-looking creature on the court, was actually out there hitting shots. He had 21 points and 7 rebounds on 5 of 7 shooting from deep. Dario Saric had 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists for Philly, and Justin Anderson had 19 off the bench. Do my eyes deceive me, or did the Brooklyn Nets actually just beat a good team? I said after they beat the Sacramento Kings last week that they were probably done winning for the rest of the season. Well, I stand corrected. They got the 122-109 victory over the Grizzlies last night. Jeremy Lin scored 18 and rookie Karis LeVert added 14 and Sean Kilpatrick had 23 off the bench. Mike Conley, who has turned into a scoring machine over his past few games, scored 32 from Memphis. And that about wraps up all the action for the day 133 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season, and now it's time to get into the player of the day. Yesterday, you guys selected rookie Tyler Ulis and his 20 points and 5 assists, including his ridiculous game-winning 3 over the Boston Celtics as your player of the day. And here are today's nominees. You have Kawhi Leonard and his 39 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and clutch plays down the stretch. Wilson Chandler and his 32 points and 12 rebounds. Dion Waiters and his 29 points and 5 assists, or Giannis Antetokounmpo and his 24 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. As always, you guys can go vote for the player of the day right now. The link to the poll will be in the description box below. Other than that, I want to thank you guys once again for all of your support, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to leave a like on it if you did. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!